Aloha foilers. Hope you're doing well today and getting out on the water. I've been foiling now for over 3 years in various forms. Whether you're a new foiler or an experienced one, we all have the same question. What foil am I going to use today? Rather than get into more granularity in terms of boards, masts, and tails, I'm going to limit today's discussion to the front foils that I have in my quiver and when I'm using them. So for this review, I'm going to start with my largest foils in terms of projected area, all the way down to the smallest in my quiver, and go through the applications. The largest foil that I have in my quiver is the Lift 250 Surf V2. It's got a projected area of 1610 centimeters, and it's got a very low aspect ratio of 4.6. This is an excellent wing. It's got relatively good speed, good low end. I learned how to wing with this foil, and I also learned how to prone foil with it. It wasn't too fast, it was easy to control, and has great glide. I don't really use it very often these days, but I do keep it in the quiver for anyone who wants to learn how to tow foil behind my jet ski, or if they're learning how to wing. I think it's a great wing. It's hard to get rid of it, really, but it is something that's not used as much by me anymore. The next largest wing I have in my quiver is the Lift 220 High Aspect X. I had bought this foil specifically to learn how to downwind subfoil, but I quickly learned that this was a weapon for light wind wing foiling. The takeoff speed is extremely low, and I've been able to push this up, probably up to 20 miles an hour. You have to be respectful when you go fast on it because it is a big wing with a wide wingspan. The glide on it is really impressive. I found that it helps me with my weak pumping to correct errors and to keep the pump going, connect waves. Really enjoyable, and a great introduction. I would say that when I came back from being in the gorge, working on my downwind skills, and I was out in a larger swell out back here in South Florida, I did have trouble keeping up with a fast-moving groundswell. That's where something like the 150 or smaller probably would have been helpful, but I don't feel like I have the skills yet to be able to paddle up with a downwind subfoil with a smaller foil. So I'm still with the 220 High Aspect X whenever I go out in downwind subfoil. The next one on my quiver is one of my most used wings. It's the most versatile that I own. It's the 150 High Aspect X. It really fits in between what I used to own, which was the 120, and I used to own the 170 High Aspect. This has the pumpability, I'd say, of the 170, but it's got the speed of the 120, and it's got better lift than the 120. And I wasn't using the 120 that often because I did find it was a little challenging at my weight at 195 to get up on foil as easily as this. And this has a great top end. I've been well into the 20 mile an hour, mid 20 mile an hour range, if not higher, on this wing. And it really helped me to develop a lot more skills all around. The next wing I have is 150 as well, similar projected area, but this is the Surf V2. And the Surf V2, it's got a lower aspect ratio of 6.5. This was the first wing that I took to Chicama for tow foiling. I was brand new, really, at prone foiling, relatively brand new. I had gotten very few good rides, and on my first ride I probably had a half-mile to 1 mile ride on this wing in relatively modest conditions in Chicama. And now what I use it for is really as my wing foil wing for Chicama, because it has great turning ability and it has enough surface area to get me up at my weight on foil. The other application I love for this wing is actually kite foiling. I don't kite foil often. I call myself a novice kite foiler, but if I want to go out and mow the lawn a little bit with a kite and a foil, this thing is phenomenal. It's got great glide, it's got great speed, easy to control. The smallest wing that I have in my quiver is the Lift 100. And this is the wing that I took with me for the first time to Chicama, September of 2023. I have not used the wing outside of that because I have not had enough big days here in southern Florida with the jet ski for tow foiling. to warrant taking this wing out. When I first looked at the wing and I brought it with me, I questioned my judgment. At 195 pounds, how easily could I get up? The motors behind the Zodiacs down there are 25 horsepower usually. Some of them are a little bit better at 40, and I was concerned. But as soon as I got pulled by the rope, I was up, no issues, and it felt fantastic. Super easy to control. So while these small wings may look intimidating to some people, the benefit is that you get incredible control. Paired up with the right tail, I was able to take really large waves, handle the energy, not have difficulty with controlling it, and just this is a phenomenal wing to have in the quiver. So what do I not have right now in the quiver that I'd like to see? I am eyeing those Havoc wings. It's a new line that Lift just came out with. It's supposed to bridge the gap between the surf wings and the high aspect wings. You know, there is a lot of appeal to be able to get on a bigger wave with a smaller foil that's easier to pump. You know, the Lift 100, not easy for me to pump. At my weight, I can pump to catch up with a wave or to get into a different section during a lull. But going out and connecting waves and pumping out, I think that for me that would be very challenging. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and it was useful. You probably still have lots of questions. I still have lots of questions. The sport continues to change. The applications continue to change, and the foils are getting better and better. I've cycled through a couple of iterations of Lift foils. It just happens to be the brand that I first went with, and they've always been at the cutting edge. There are lots of great companies out there putting out interesting gear. I'd say that the measures that people use in terms of projected area are not as useful as we think they are. They continue to change, and everything comes down to the design of the individual foil and the application that you're going to use. If you're ever in South Florida and you want to come ride, or come out in the jet ski to do some tow foiling, look me up. I'm NY Waterman on Instagram. Also, I am running a trip this August. I've got 8 guys that are super stoked to go down to Peru, to my favorite spot. It'll be my 5th trip there. And I have a week lined up for May 3rd next year, 2025, and also September 6th, 2025. There's a lot of interest already developing for the May trip, so reach out to me early if you're interested in going, and I'd love to have you.